Dear Director Brix, dear students, dear members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to the great ceremonial hall of the University of Vienna for the 2024 graduation ceremony. This is obviously an important day for you and your families and friends. I guess all of them were a little bit involved in the success of today. But it's obviously also a very important day for your teachers and supervisors, which have accompanied you all the way to the successful completion of your studies. And last but not least, it's a very important day also for the two institutions, the University of Vienna and the Diplomatic Academy, as we are celebrating the completion of 2 PhDs and 50 MA degrees. To finish a thesis, it needs, I guess, a lot of dedication and, at least for a period of time, concentration on just one task, which normally also means that a number of other important aspects of life have to be cut back on a little bit, such as friends and family. But on the other hand, I think everyone who has ever finished a thesis or a PhD or a Habilitationsschrift or whatever knows how satisfying it is to bring your ideas on paper and to finally give your research, which is of course the most fun part of everything, to a definite form. The MAIS, as well as our joint PhD program, which is entitled Interdisciplinary International Studies, are indeed, and it's not just the title, very interdisciplinary and international. And both programs are designed to prepare you for a world that is definitely getting more complex and challenging on a global scale. As you are all aware, we are experiencing a series of multiple crises. All the time we think, okay, this one is done, then the next one comes around the corner. And I'm not mentioning them all, just to say pandemic first and climate change, war in Ukraine, digital and AI transformations, and there's certainly many other challenges as well. All these challenges affect societies in many different ways. I think there's hardly aspects of societies that are not affected by these dramatic shifts in political, social, economic, and cultural terms. In such challenging times, education and research, which are important obviously all the time, I think are even more important. They are real pillars of society. And that is true for education and research, and of course for the institutions that are entrusted with education and research, such as the University of Vienna and the Diplomatic Academy. And these institutions, especially in these times, I think, have the fundamental role to give stability and directions to a world that seems a little bit in disorder, to say it mildly. And that's true for society at large, but especially for our young generations. You know, I think young people would like to see where we are going. What are the ways to address all these challenges? And obviously, academic institutions are here to prepare you for these challenges and responses to these challenges, which of course include innovation and technology necessarily, but all too often it's forgotten that this to address these challenges, it's not just innovation and technology. Equally important is it for these institutions, educational and research institutions, to foster critical fact-based discourse and to insist on fundamental democratic values such as respect, freedom of speech, or simply human rights. This seems all right in the middle of Vienna, like, okay, we have got this and fine, but as we see in Europe, even in the middle of Europe and beyond Europe, these are fundamental values that need to be defended every single day. The MAIS, as well as the joint PhD program, are designed to educate and prepare future leaders able to address these challenges and to take up their roles, that is your roles, in society. Looking at the truly impressive list of candidates and at your thesis topics, I'm sure you're well prepared. The topics are absolutely interdisciplinary. They are not just international, they seem to be addressed topics on a global scale, and anything that comes to mind in relation to these aforementioned topics has been one way or another addressed. I'm not going to mention all 52 thesis topics, but I just want to say that in this range of different topics, there are addressed key institutions such as the EU, the UN, the NATO. There are theses on the absolute hotspots of geopolitical developments such as Russia and Ukraine, Near East and Africa, China, and there are theses on some of the also already mentioned topics such as the COVID pandemic, AI challenges, or climate change. And I think the thesis topics alone are here to document that what these programs, the MAIS program and the joint PhD program, promise, that is to prepare you for those global challenges and make sure that you can take on your leadership roles. Obviously, today I would in the first place like to congratulate you on your academic achievements. I'm sure your expertise is urgently needed in this world, and comparatively or based on that, I'm also sure that career opportunities will be plenty for people educated like yourself. But I would also like to invite you to take on your civic responsibilities, because an academic education offers great personal opportunities, but it also comes with a special responsibility. Who is educated best should take on the responsibilities also, not just on a personal level, but in the wider context of society. So I'm very happy to see that so many of you have concluded studies or are concluding your studies today with the graduation ceremony. And I would especially like to congratulate all of you for taking on such timely and challenging topics in your thesis topics. So congratulations.
Mr. Rector, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and foremost soon-to-be graduates of the MAIS program, we may know Proschievna. You don't know, most of you don't know why they laugh. I'll tell you later on, but I also don't know. Dear members of the faculty, and also welcome to everybody who joins us virtually. Let me begin with a story about someone who is not here today, but who was with us the last year, or part of the last year. This is the story of a young woman, Maya Ben Eliezer. Many of you have met her during her short period here at this academy. She was an exchange student from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And she was supposed to spend the autumn term here with us in Vienna. And then 7th October arrived. I was a bit worried about her family and what she will do, and I invited her to see me. And I said, please feel safe, stay with us. I hope your family is all right, but stay with us. You know what she told me? She said, I feel I have to defend my country. I have to defend Israel. And she went back. She was in a unit on the border of Lebanon. And in these very first days after 7th October, it seemed as if Hezbollah would also be frontline. But unfortunately, it looks like that again now. And she said, no, I want, with the weapon in my hand, as a soldier, defend my country. Whatever we think about where are the limits of defending your country, our professors can tell you in theory where the limits are of the right of self-defense. I hope you learned it all. But my feeling was, yes, brave, but in her heart it was right. So that's why I started with reminding you of her, and I hope she's well. But it's your day now, today, of all of you who are here, actually. It is one of the great moments at the end of each academic year when I say my welcome to you, the students who will in a few moments be graduates. Because it's, and that was mentioned already, because of your parents, your friends, and everybody who is here, and also because of our faculty, our staff, and certainly our cooperation partner, the University of Vienna. It is a genius loci here for this graduation, because the two founding persons of our institutions, the University of Vienna on this side, and the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna on the other side, are always present on these graduation ceremonies. That means Vienna University is bigger and older. I don't like that, but I can't change it. And as far as the size is concerned, I have no intention to change it. because we want to give a special education to a special group of people. And that's what you are. And I know what I'm talking about because I'm a graduate myself of the Diplomatische Akademie. I was not privileged to get a degree because at that time we only had a diploma program. But that was fine because I already had a doctorate of the University of Vienna when I came here. I hope you cherished the DA experience with this unique community of people from all corners of the globe as much as I did at my time. And being part of what studying at a DA means, living and working together in such a, well, actually sometimes I was supposed to say almost frivolous surrounding, because you were really close to each other. By the way, we have had many marriages after graduation in these last 60 years after the Second World War. But I hope that you experience that this living together with people from different countries and different ways of thinking, that is a real asset, and that it broadens your horizons and your mind. We are proud of you. 50 students from 25 countries of all continents. And roughly 2/3 are coming from abroad, 1/3 from Austria, and a large female majority among you. The previous studies you had are very often the usual ones, like law, political science, economics, but among you there are also people with a background of industrial design, Islamic studies, social and cultural anthropology, and I'm happy to say a few historians. You had your special moments when you were here. And I should say a few words about these special moments, because maybe you didn't tell your parents and friends about these special moments. I heard the word tipsy weasel. Yeah, No, I start with the serious ones. You organized a conference on digital diplomacy together with the other programs that we have, and actually 2 of them. And you negotiated a UN simulation. Some of you were part of exchange programs. 2 of you went to Stanford, to Korea. 3 of you attended courses at the Hebrew University. Unfortunately, this time only online. It was the only way that it was possible. And we had 9 incoming students, 2 students from Stanford, 1 from Jerusalem, I mentioned her already, and a colleague joined you this year from Denver, and 6 colleagues from Denver joined you, the Corbell School joined you this year. I also would like to warmly welcome 2 of our students who joined us in the first year and then moved on to spend the second year at our partner institutions within the framework of our cooperation agreement with SAIS, Johns Hopkins University in Bologna. They joined us for the ceremony today, and I want to honorably mention them. During these 2 academic years, you did a lot of things besides studying all the necessary experts. You were active in your student association, the DASI. I want to thank them actually for leading you and being in continuous sparring partner for the director and his staff all through the 2 years until the very last day. Actually, I got a complaint just yesterday from DASI. You wrote for your magazine Polemics, and you created great podcasts. And you mentioned also of some of the colleagues around you. And you were active in more than 20 different committees and societies. And some of you have been our student ambassadors, which proved to be a very helpful way to make clear that this is a special place, actually, where you can study. But certainly you also had your time of sports, playing billiard, table tennis. There was just 2 weeks ago, I think, less than 2 weeks ago, a tournament where you participated. And as we are in Austria, you went not only skiing, but also to the Heurigen, twice at least, officially. Okay. And you organized a ball. And you were competitive in wine tasting. That's always something very special. And you had your DA band where some of you played also. Now, you see, this is what I'm talking about, this variety of activities. And I would like also to thankfully mention that some of you went to the Pride Parade recently with the DA and the diplomats for equality. Thank you very much for this. And you were also part of, and that's always something that I know how much you like it, our study trips. So you went to Brussels, a few of you went to Geneva, to Iraq, to Kurdistan in Iraq, and to Israel last year. And of course, the MAIS 2 always goes to the Balkans. You had your big trip through the Balkans, where I hope that you felt that it was also part of the academic program, not only of the fun side of being at the Diplomatic Academy. I had some talks with Professor Rowe on this. And of course, you are even inventive by creating your own language. Proschievna, that's the title of this course. And, well, even we had to do research sometimes, so we researched what it means and couldn't find anything. It sounds a bit Slavic. But even we tried to be creative, we couldn't come up with something. But then I thought, that's it. This is a time where things are not clear. It's a time of ambivalence. You are in the city of Sigmund Freud, so you are allowed to use such a new language. At least one word of a new language you created. I hope in the further career you will create more than one word of a new language. And also I have to say, and now I have to mention this, the Tipsy Weasel bar that we have at the place seems to be sometimes more popular than other halls of this academy. I never ask before what you're doing, but sometimes the neighbors tell me afterwards. Let me say, the studying together and traveling together and celebrating together, living together, is the best we can provide for you. Because this is what makes the difference from an ordinary place of higher education. And I hope that you made exclusive and inclusive use also of all our career services, internship possibilities, career day, speech dating, meeting companies, and meeting also people from ministries. But all this would not have been able to be done without the help. And this hall is full. And this is full because of you and because of them. So the great thanks go also from our side to the parents and friends for being the best sponsors of you for the 2 years. Give them a round of applause, please. Certainly, we also have other sponsors. The biggest sponsor is the Austrian Foreign Minister. Welcome, Ambassador Harvard from the Human Resources. And you know, we need a very big applause for him and for the Foreign Ministry, because we want them to give us even more support in the coming years. That's already family. You are leaving us, but you are supporting us for the future. Thank you very much for that. And then certainly My thank you goes to the faculty, the restless, never sleeping faculty, which is always challenged by you. So welcome, Professor Kornprobst, Professor Müller, Professor Rowe, Professor Feldkircher. They are all here. One person I want to especially welcome and mention here today, and for a very good reason, I think. This is the ambassador of Ukraine to Austria, His Excellency Vasil Jimenez. Welcome. Why is he here? First of all, because we are together in Europe in all of this. And we had last week the opening, or 2 weeks ago, the opening of an exhibition here together with the Rector about Faces of War in Ukraine. But the real reason, the personal reason, is that he is here as some sort of surrogate father or parental guide, because of the terrible war against Ukraine. The parents of our Ukrainian students cannot be here today. So the Ukrainian ambassador is not only taking the usual task as an ambassador here, but he decided to be here because the student families cannot be with us. They are not able to leave the war-torn country. Thank you, Vasil. I'm coming to the end. I just want to say this is a very special graduation ceremony because we are 60 years after the reopening of our place after the Second World War. We are 270 years after this lady decided we have to understand better the Turks, the Ottomans, and we are in the second year that we have PhD diplomas to give here for interdisciplinary international studies. Since we started this endeavor with the University of Vienna some years ago, we didn't know whether the program would fly, but it does. And congratulations to Charlotte Gebauer and to Colin Hendricks. Where are they? So, I guess you know now what your tasks are when you leave the DA as alumni. We hope you will stay an active part of what this place means. We wish you all the best for your future. Stay in the network. If you're not yet member of Club DA, become a member of Club DA. And we have already local chapters in 120 countries. Our goal is to stay closely connected with all of you, because the family character of this institution and the campus character of this institution is something we should never underestimate. I'm sure you will think back about how easy these 2 years were. In a few years' time, you will say, well, we had not the obligations of a full career already. But actually, this was the preparation for everything that you do afterwards. After what you said about your fellow students, you have your own yearbook. I guess career will be around the corner, because you said at least one of you will win a Nobel Prize and one of you will become the UN Secretary General. Actually, be careful. For my own time as a student at the academy, I had a very nice room on the campus looking to the south, very nice into the green in the first year. But then our retired Secretary General of the United Nations returned to Vienna. And the authorities couldn't find a small office for him anywhere in this big city, but my room. So I had to change to a not so nice room, but okay, he had different problems anyhow, this UN Secretary General. I hope you had an interesting, rewarding and productive and enjoyable academic years. We hope that it was more often we than no. We are proud of you, this group of 50 talented young people. Be brave, be courageous, and between you and me, please don't become bureaucrats. We have already enough bureaucrats around here. This was an academic institution which prepared you for something different. And if I may recommend anything at the end, I'm not one of your professors. Read 2 books if you don't have read them again. One is by Kennedy, Profiles in Courage. Read them. You can see how it's possible to show courage. And the second one certainly is from an Austrian writer, from Stefan Zweig. Read what's called in German Die Sternstunden der Menschheit, Decisive Moments in History, in its English translation. Because when you see who Zweig describes as those big heroes in history, not a single bureaucrat, not a single diplomat, a composer, some military man, and even Lenin. Read it if you like. I wish every one of you all the best for your future. You worked hard for this moment, so enjoy this ceremony. Congratulations.
Dear Rector, dear Director, dear Deputy Director, Excellencies, distinguished guests, parents, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, of course, because this is your day, dear students. Time passes very quickly. So when I look at you 2 years ago, master students, we met at a walk through the vineyards, Baden, Gumbolskirchen. And just 2 years later now, we're meeting here again. And soon we're going to meet right there in the middle. And we have the privilege to give you your degrees. And that is already a special privilege. Today it's even more special because we have also our 2 doctoral students. And doctoral students, of course, for the Diplomatic Academy, also for the University of Vienna, are very important. They are powerhouses of innovation, so to say. So they have the kind of new ideas that we oftentimes don't necessarily have anymore. And apart from doing excellent work when it comes to research, they also help us in terms of teaching. They are research assistants, and in that way also play a very important role for our school. Also socially, I may say, so Colin, I know, used to have a nice nickname amongst students. They called him Opa. So German for grandfather. No, but he was a very, very important linkage between faculty, between master students, and Charlotte, obviously the same with you, although you didn't get the nickname, but just be glad about it. Since your studies are done now, it's time to reflect a little bit upon your time with us. And back in the day, I actually wanted to become an actor, and one of my favorite plays was Goethe's Faust. So I have to subject you now to a little bit of Faust. And at the same time, I want to step into your shoes and think about how you may reflect upon your years with us, 2 years, 4 or 5 years. And then it may look something like this. Apologies that the rhythm doesn't work all that well anymore and the rhymes, but still. I've studied now political science and jurisprudence, history, and even economics and culture, from end to end, with labor keen. And here, poor fool, with all my law I stand, no wiser than before. I'm master, perhaps even doctor, and straight or crosswise, wrong or right, these 2 years long, with many woes, 4 or 5 years long, with many woes, I've led my professors by the nose and see that nothing can be known. Those of you who have read or seen this great play before know what's gonna happen. Faust really despairs that he cannot know, that he cannot have the kind of solid 100% knowledge that he strives for. And because of that, he makes a pact with the devil. Now, I stand here today in front of you to encourage you to be skeptical, but never to despair. And needless to say, with a modest request, never ever to enter a pact with the devil. Be skeptical. Question what others take for granted. Question orthodoxies, the right opinions, the dominant opinions that appear entirely self-evident to others. You are extraordinarily well equipped to do so. You know many languages. You have been acquainted to many different disciplines, perhaps even before you joined us already. But here to economics, law, history, political science, and also culture. Always be open to other points of view from near and afar. Always remain curious. Reach into the unknown. Put together the pieces that describe the world in which we live in a way that it makes sense to you, and always remain open to revisit the puzzle that you're assembling. To quote the title of another very well-known book, Via Homo Faber. Be self-confident because of your ability and drive to stay curious. Our graduates do very well on the job market, and they do very well in their jobs. Allow me to give you an inspiring example. Once upon a time, a young Brazilian movie maker decided that movies, he did not the kind of blockbusters, but more the artsy kind, that movies was after all not what he wanted to do, and he wanted to become a diplomat. And then he decided to study diplomacy, first in Brazil, and then with us. He returned to Brazil and then became foreign minister there. And he is, to this very day, the longest serving foreign minister that Brazil has ever had. Well over 80 years old now, our alumnus Celso Amorim is no longer in office. But it's very interesting to see what others write about him. Foreign Policy. That's a very well-known magazine on diplomacy, foreign affairs. Once called him the world's most successful foreign minister. Why would they write something like that? What makes you that successful? Because he is a great mind for whom thinking outside the box is the rule rather than the exception. And the same magazine also placed him 6th in the top 100 of global thinkers. So this is really the gist of my very last lecture, sermon, or however you want to call it, to you. Continue to think for yourself and don't make doubting orthodoxies doubt yourself. Be self-confident. Allow me to conclude my speech with 3 special thanks. The first one goes to the University of Vienna and the Foreign Ministry. There's been a great cooperation in this triangle of relations for a very, very long time. And the director has already alluded, it's basically symbolized by the 2 great figures that stand here behind me. I think together we have put together a lot of exciting, a lot of great things, and I'm looking forward to the future and to continue all of this. The second big thank you goes to Jenny Kierandon, who sits there on the first in the first row. Jenny's been working here at least since at the Diplomatic Academy, at least since 2009 when I joined. And then she was in the study secretariat, already helped us professors, students a lot. And then some years later, Jenny and I were appointed or sentenced, depends on how one interprets it, to head of the academic administration and to dean, respectively. And Jenny, you have done such a fantastic job for the institution, and we as faculty are very, very grateful for that. So it doesn't matter whether it was the weekends, or it doesn't matter whether it was the nights, or it was the Corona pandemic and no one there. Jenny, you were always there for us, and we really owe you a big, big thank you for everything you've done for this institution. And finally, of course, thank you, students, soon-to-be graduates of the Diplomatic Academy. Thanks a lot for having been here with us. The Corona times in particular were actually quite dire. And I remember quite a few moments where I sat somewhere in the garden or the parking lot alone, walking through the corridors of the DA alone, empty lecture theaters, empty seminar rooms. I always knew that students obviously are very much at the core of the DA, but there it became even clearer than before. You really light up this place. You breathe life into it. And you do so in so many different ways, academically and socially. Thank you so much for that. You make all the difference for the DA. In many ways, you are the DA. On behalf of the faculty, I have the honor to congratulate you to your degree. Go out there in the world and make us proud.
So this is getting serious now. We start with our two PhD candidates, and usually serious in academia means Latin. So we'll read, and I would invite the two candidates to stand up. Doctoranda clarissima, nec non doctorande clarissime. Dissertatione composita et examinibus, que et eorum qui in philosophia doctoris nomen, atque honores consequi student, doctrinam explorandam lege constituta sunt, cum laude superatis, nos atheistis, ut vos eo honore, quem apeteistis in hoc solemni concessu ornemus. Sed prius fides estanda, vos tales semper futuros, qualis vos esse jubebit dignitas, quam obtinebitis et nos speramus vos fore. Spondebitis igitur. Primo, vos huius universitatis in qua summum in philosophia gradum ascenderitis. Piam perpetuo memoriam habiturus, eiusque res ac rationes, quo ad poteritis adjuturos. Dein honorem eum, quem in vos conlaturus sum, integrum incolumemque servaturos, neque umquam pravis moribus aut vitae infamia commocalatures. Postremo studia humanitatis, impigo labore cultores et provecturos, non sorditi lucri, causa nec ad vanam captandam gloriam, sed quos magis veritatis propagetur et lux eius, qua salus humani generis continetur, clarius effulgeat. Haec vos ex animi vestri sententia spondibitis ac policebimini. Ja. We are still missing out a part, so don't run away before we have concluded the ceremony, and I will come down then and congratulate you as well, because there's still the Ernennungsteil, still in Latin. So, itaque iam nihil impedit, quo minus honores quos obtinere cupitis, vobis impertiamus. Ergo ego Sebastianus Schütze, Universitatis Vindobonensis Rector, promotor rite constitutus, ex decreto ordinis mei vos, Colin Hendricks et Charlotte Ebauer, Philosophiae Doctores Creo. Creatam creatumque, renuncio omniaque Philosophiae Doctorum Jura ac privilegia, in vos confero in eusque rei fidem hec diploma universitatis sigillo insignita vobis in manus trado. So, das war's. Also
we call now the graduates of the MAIS program. Piers Alonso, United States of America. Mansoor Hussain Ayobi, Afghanistan. Judith Bauer, Austria. Rima Bukina, Russian Federation. Emilia Lauren Castelao, United States of America. Louis Zentner, Germany. Muas Geran, Austria. Miriam Noel Sharkawi, Austria. Fernando de Pinho Negrão, Brazil. Lakshmi Sudha Dev, India. Axel Martin Daniel Devaux, France. Charlotte Virginia Lacour Ehlers, United States of America. Andreas Daniel Feichtenschlager, Feichtenschlager, Austria. Camille Judith Marie-Madeleine Fourmi, France, Hungary. Antonia Frey, Austria. Hamza Hamouich, Morocco. Luhan, China. Navina Sophie Hasper, Germany, India. Raphael Xavier Heim, United States of America, Switzerland. Jakob Wendelin Heistinger, Austria. Tamina Huber, Austria. Katrina Alexandra Jo, Austria. Raphael Klausnitzer, Austria. Victor Kariton, Ukraine. Johannes Kornberger, Austria, Australia. Leander Krenzle, Germany. Maximilian Krenbauer, Austria. Adrian Kreuzspiegel, Austria. Fathia Lawal, Ghana. Lena Louise Madette Lucer, France. Reed McIntyre, United States of America. Laura Victoria Mendoza Velandia, Austria, Colombia. Katarina Milenkovic, Serbia. Sofia Parisotto, Austria, Italy. Kelly Suzanne Patton, United States of America. Thomas Peternell, Austria. Nathalie Rangel Salas, Luxembourg. Anna-Kathrin Elisabeth, Rest, Germany. Caroline Beate Rettenbacher, Austria. Anna Elizabeth Brix, United States of America. Sarah Lee Schuster, Austria Dominican Republic. Dmitros Churevsky, Ukraine. Mariam Sindhi, Iraqi Kurdistan. Milana Zladojevic, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Victoria Teliha, Ukraine. Julia Katharina Tuxa, Austria. Amelia Vargas Medina, Mexico. Anna Rosalinde Hendrika Verveers, the Netherlands. Caleb Zoudine, Canada.
Sorry for making you wait. Your Excellency, Ambassador Brix, Rector Schütze, distinguished ambassadors, esteemed professors, honorable parents, family, friends, most importantly, ragazzi.
We are deeply honored to have the opportunity to deliver this graduation speech. I'm Mansour Hussain Ayubi, and I'm voted the 7th most likely person to become the director of Academy one day from my peers.
My name is Timina Huber, and my peers voted me 7th most likely to become foreign minister one day. We would like to do two things in our speech today. First of all, take you down memory lane and tell you a bit about our DA experience. And secondly, give a heartfelt thank you to all of us who supported us.
Our experience at the Diplomatic Academy has been a mix of disillusionment and newfound hope.
My journey at the Diplomatic Academy started just as professors during the Welcome Week in September 2022 during the wine walk on a rainy Sunday in Baden. I wore very new white shoes who were not destined to survive the day. Despite the rain, I was thrilled to share my native lower Austrian Heuring culture, 21 Makes a Rule and Grüner Veltliner with all of my new friends from 24 countries. Especially one German friend really took to the wine part.
Unfortunately, I missed the first 2 weeks of the class, not due to visa issues like some of our classmates had the displeasure of experiencing. Big shout out to the Emma 35 at this point. But because of COVID-19. Despite this setback, the vibrant tipsy events, long study nights, collaborative group works, birthday celebrations, sports events, and unforgettable gathering at the DA, along with countless other activities, allowed me to connect with amazing people. This experience helped me to meet wonderful souls and forge invaluable friendships.
Although the Diplomatic Academy is, as Ambassador Brix already admitted, smaller than some other institutions, it definitely has a lot to offer. The wide range of courses offered by our faculty, member and visiting professors, seminars or courses, sometimes only in groups of 5 to 7 people, and countless events make the students' experience at the Diplomatic Academy truly unique.
Above all, despite some claim made by a newspaper, we shall assure everyone that we do critically consume information, even academic information. Thanks to our professors, We always had an open space and the opportunity to discuss, disagree, or even challenge them. The speakers in countless events were no exception to this. They were faced with challenging questions from us. These insights and discussions were well complemented by our wonderful study trips.
Our study trips, starting off with the Brussels trip, did not only complement our learnings from our courses. I mean, how would we ever be able to forget EU law anyway? But also offered special bonding moments. We will certainly never forget the talks and discussions with numerous speakers, many of whom are Diplomatic Academy alumnus themselves in Brussels, who explained the monstrous bureaucracy of the EU a bit in more detail. And we will certainly also remember the nights all of us stormed an unsuspecting karaoke bar and gave some of the best renditions of Sarà che ti amo Belgium has ever heard. Some of our colleagues, and we have to really point this out, were even as dedicated to properly get to know Belgian culture that they slept no more than 3 hours per night. So turns out academic pursuit can be fun.
Some of us were lucky enough to be part of the study trip to Israel-Palestine during our first year, and others visited the UN and other NGOs in Geneva. Others got the opportunity to visit Iraqi Kurdistan region, learning about the rich, diverse culture of the region, meeting with politicians, visiting cultural sites, bonding with our friends, and making many memories and amazing gruppo di foto.
This May, we embarked on a journey through 6 Balkan countries, and while we both fully recognize the internationally recognized customary law of what happens in the Balkans stays in the Balkans, we may disclose some details. For example, we met with a lot of politicians again, visits with the embassies, had talks with civil society representatives, tours of cultural monuments, and of course sampled every type of cevapa there is in the Balkans. One of the most memorable visits was with the newly appointed Serbian foreign minister, who not only avoided answering our questions, but left us with even more. Especially unforgettable was the moment when we learned some poems at the same ministry. Just imagine. Needless to say, it was another special occasion for many of us to bond more, discuss serious issues, or debate Split's architecture, making us often the last to leave local bars after intense political discussions.
It's important to cherish these moments, especially given the global crises that have shaped our studies. We had the absolute displeasure of witnessing the start of several wars and conflicts during our studies. For 2 wars taking place in our immediate vicinity, to the severe oppression of women in Afghanistan, new rounds of conflict in Sudan, Yemen, and many other parts of the world. Global leaders once again showed their inability to cooperate effectively, even when the lives of thousands of innocent civilians were and are at stake. Milder winters, hotter summers, and an area of natural catastrophes worldwide undoubtedly show climate change is here to stay. The rise of populism and the right-wing extremism, along with anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, has once again infiltrated domestic politics. And through all of that, international institutions, which we as international relations students place so much trust in, failed to upkeep their promise of safekeeping human rights and democratic stability.
Even the prestigious Diplomatic Academy is not immune to disillusionment. ChatGPT has made many of the skills we have required over the last years obsolete. A MAIS degree no longer guarantees a prosperous career like it once might have. Eurocentrism dominates our curriculum, although the students of the Diplomatic Academy stem from countries across the world. Even though for many of us, the Israel-Palestine war is one of the most pressing current issues, there was no serious attempt to represent this at events at the Diplomatic Academy. The administration has struggled with budgetary constraints and significant price increases, which impacted our study experience. And a note here from the representatives of the Foreign Ministry, a 1996 budget is inadequate for 2024 institutions. So, yeah, in short, the last 2 years were quite some years of disillusionment.
As mentioned before, these 2 years were not only disillusionment, but were also a time for hope. This hope primarily comes from you guys. You, our most favorite diplomatic academy squad, MAIS 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, you might not be aware, but the Diplomatic Academy prides itself, as thanks to our director already gave us the recognition, prides itself in over 20 students-led societies and initiatives under the umbrella of Diplomatic Academy Students Initiative known as DASI. Each of these 20 societies has at very least 3 positions to fill: the president, the vice president, the treasurer. This resulted in many of us taking on several roles at once. If by any chance you meet Navina, Kati, Kami, and Tamina, you just have met with representative of the majority of our societies.
Under your leadership, our societies have achieved incredible feats and over the last year organized more than 100 events.
We published 3 insightful issues of Polemics magazines, along with several podcasts covering a wide range of topics.
We held a charity ball to support women's education in Afghanistan through Afghanistan Solidarity Group, an organization which is based in Vienna and co-founded by our very own Mansour, which advocates for women's rights and opposes the Taliban's terror regime.
Thank you. We organized a successful conference on digital diplomacy, bringing in dozens of experts, including many from outside of Austria, to the Diplomatic Academy.
Our newly established culinary society explored cuisines from around the world, and we organized numerous events on gender equality representing the Diplomatic Academy and countless events abroad.
Our sports events, including amazing ski trips in the Alps, connected us with the beautiful Austrian landscapes.
Our DE Africa Society, Hispano-Hablante Society, and the Francophone Society organized events focusing on different regions in the world.
We enjoyed quizzes, painting evenings, choirs and music, weekly cultural newsletters, and chase events that brought many UN employees to the Diplomatic Academy.
We represented the Diplomatic Academy at wine competitions in France and marched for gender equality and pride.
We explored the unique, rich tapestry of Vienna city through numerous tours focusing on different aspects of this city.
And we can go on like this for hours.
Following on what Elif Shafak concluded after she studied the memoir of survivors of mass atrocities, quote, "Maybe the opposite of the goodness is not necessarily evil or badness or weakness. The opposite of the goodness is in fact numbness. The moment we become numb, indifferent, desensitized, disconnected from each other, the moment we stop feeling what the story of someone living in another part of the world might be like, the moment we stop caring about someone else." End quote.
Over the last 2 years, we have convincingly shown that even through this disillusionment, we are not numb, we are not indifferent to bad or good developments in our institution or around the globe. We think therein lies the reason for the hope we feel for our future. We have learned and proven our ability to take charge, remain aware of challenges, and act to make the world a better place.
Even in 2 of the most stressful years of your life, you still asked, hey, how can I contribute more to this society? How can I make this place more equal and more inclusive? How can we attract more female professors? How can we make the course selection system fairer and more transparent?
Therefore, we are certain that you will remain aware, active, and make sure that you leave this world a better place. And we think as long as people like you exist, we'll be just fine.
And now to the other important parts of our speech. Let's extend our long overdue thank yous. Thank you, dear Ambassador Brix and Deputy Director Magistrat Schütze.
Thank you to Jenny, who we have to keep going, otherwise this will take forever. Thank you to Jenny, who over the last 17 years shaped the DA like nobody else. We're truly honored to be your last class. Okay, yeah.
Thank you to all of our professors and teachers at this institution, especially Professor Kornprobst, Professor Rowe, Professor Feldkircher, and Professor Hestermeyer.
Thank you to all of our language professors, whom we got to spend so many of our early mornings or late nights with. Un jour, nous pouvons parler français, nous promettons.
Thank you to the custodial and kitchen staff at the Diplomatic Academy for creating this place we love so much and tolerating most of our tipsies.
Thank you to all of our friends and loved ones, especially your families, for your support. Those who are here today, those who are watching live, and those who are thinking about us.
Thank you to all of our parents and credit institutions who generously supported us.
Thank you to our student representatives, the Darcy, Laura, Navina, Mansour, and Karina, as well as our class representatives, Leander, Anna Rose, and Victoria, for your endless endeavor to improve this institution.
Thank you to all of our fellow students for the discussions, teachable moments, and lifelong friendships we have developed together.
And now, before this journey is really finally over, we would like to cite one of this class's favorites, a traditional Serbian poem we learned from the Foreign Minister's Aid.
Imagine there is no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky.
Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us. And the world will be as one. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.